let's talk about how to use the game trap words in your classroom. So in this game, it is a word game, and you have two teams. You have one team with a clue giver and another team with a clue giver, and both teams are trying to guess a secret word. If you are familiar with the game Taboo, in Taboo you have a word like tree, and your team needs to guess this word. But as the clue giver, you are not allowed to use the words green, forest, or spring. And so you have to come up with clever ways to give clues to the other team so they can guess your word tree. So trap words is a little different though. It's really actually quite exciting. The mechanic they added to this game to make it different, and it really creates a much more memorable and fun experience. So it's also dungeon themed. So if you can see here, we have a torch for each team because they're making their way through a dungeon. So we have different dungeon tiles. You also are trying to fight the monster at the end. Here we have a vampire. You are trying to fight at the end of the game. To win, you have to defeat the boss. So in this game, you are given words, but how they do it differently is the other team will give you words you cannot use. All right, so let's go over how to play trap words. So in trap words, you have two teams. You have a red team and a blue team. Now each team will also have a torch. So you have a red team torch and a blue team torch. Now the torch is for the clue giver. Everyone else on the team will try to guess the secret word. So how do you know what your secret word is? Well, each team will draw a card and put the card into the book. The book will show us what is our secret word. So in this one, we have justice. So the blue team will take the secret word, and they have justice. This is the word the other team, the red team, will need to guess. So we will think about maybe 3 trap words we can write down that the other team cannot guess. Now, how do you know how many trap words you can write? Well, that is based on the room you are in. So this one actually is 4, but we're just going to do 3 for a 3-room trap room. So we have justice. So we're going to write maybe judge, court, and freedom. So now when the other team, the red team, tries to guess this word, the clue giver cannot use our 3 trap words, judge, freedom, or court. All right, so then we'll give the book to the red team clue giver. So the red team clue giver will have the book. They do not look at the book yet. You have to wait to look at the book. The red team clue giver. Now, how do you win each round? So you have 5 guesses. So your team can guess the word 5 times. You also have a timer, and if you say a trap word, you lose. So there are 3 ways you can lose, only 1 way to win. To win, you need to guess the trap word or the secret word. So first, if you run out of time, you lose. If you say a trap word, you lose. And if you guess more than 5 words, you lose. If your team uses more than 5 words to guess the word, you lose. Now, if you guess it, you advance through the dungeon. So you go from dungeon tile to dungeon tile until you get to the end. Now, it's really up to you how you set up the dungeon tiles. You can start with 4, go down up to 7, go down to 1, go up to 10. We'll talk about how to use that in the classroom in a minute. So, finally, when you progress through the dungeon, you are trying to fight the boss. So the boss of the dungeon, here we have the troll. The troll has a special ability. His special ability is your clue giver. So not the guessers, but the clue giver now can only say 10 words. Okay, so the clue giver can say 10 words. The guessers can only say 5 when you face the troll. You only have this much time, and you have to be sure not to say the trap words. All right. I really like this game because it also includes a catch-up mechanic. So for the classroom, you can implement these things so a student doesn't get, or a group of students don't get too far ahead. So this one is feeble mind. So if a team is 2 rooms ahead, maybe, they will get into a curse. The curse will be feeble mind. then they cannot use any words that are not nouns. So your clue giver is only allowed to use nouns. So this is a really good chance for other teams to catch up. Also, it's good to make the trap rooms increase. So if you do 4, 5, 6, 7, it's a great catch up mechanic because the team that's winning has a more challenging time. Also in the game, the boss, if both teams do not guess the word, the boss moves forward. This is also great for the classroom because then you don't have to worry about the game going too long. If teams just are not guessing the word, well, the boss is moving forward. They could go the whole time and not guess the word, but the boss will catch up to them. So that's how you play the game. Now let's go over the classroom logistics. So some more ways that you might think about implementing this in your classroom. So I don't know how big your classrooms are, and the times I've played this, I've had to divide my class up into different teams, not just 2 teams. Also, I have played it in a smaller classroom with 12 students, and that was perfect. We just had 2 teams, and it worked out really well. Now, this is really hard to bring into the classroom and use in the classroom. So I will have on our website an image of, or in this video streaming here, that you can use to draw on your board. So if you have a whiteboard, you can draw this on your board. And basically it's just an outline of each of the trap rooms, just a box, pretty much just a box for each team has a path to travel through the dungeon. At the end, I have maybe a printed picture of a dragon. If I'm with my wife, she will draw the dragon for me. But otherwise, I can just print off maybe a troll or this one's the demon off and use that in the classroom. Also, you can change this catch-up mechanic to fit your curriculum, or maybe if you're learning adjectives, you have to say the clue giver has to use an adjective every time they give a clue. Also, the number of trap words, you can play around with this. You can start with 1, 2. With my lower level students, if I play this game with them, I usually use a lower amount of trap words. Finally, you can only use vocabulary from your class. So this game is awesome because it comes with a lot of different words that you can use. There's 2 different themes. So one theme is the fantasy theme, like dragons, magic, brooms, a lot of just themes related to fantasy or words related to fantasy. But you can just use your vocabulary that you're learning in class. It's really great because if you're learning more difficult words, students have to realize how they can express these words without being very creative. They need to use a lot of innovation and creativity to give clues. Also, it's great because the other team's thinking of trap words for those vocabulary words, and they're defining that vocabulary word to write trap words that the other team cannot use. So both teams are learning or retaining or remembering those vocabulary words. So it's really great to use for vocabulary. Now, this does work for other content areas too. Maybe you are a science teacher. You can use this for the elements, the periodic table of elements maybe, and so one team's writing trap words that these are things that are the elements make up, like steel. Okay, so what makes up steel? They could write a list of trap words that the other team cannot use. Or history, you can write some terms related to history. Now this is great too for English for specific purposes. So if you're learning a specific content area for English, it's really great to go over vocabulary that covers that whole field. So that's how you use trap words in your classroom. Now I use this for my English language classes, but you can definitely use it in other content areas as well. But thank you for watching the video. If you're listening in on the podcast, be sure to check out our YouTube or Facebook page, and you can kind of maybe look at the visuals of the video. It'll maybe hopefully give you a better picture of how to implement this game in your classroom. And as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our website. We have a lot of other resources there as well. That's boardgamingwitheducation.com. Be sure to subscribe. This is our first YouTube video, so hopefully we can get some subscribers out of this. We have more coming eventually. This is a first test run. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.